Good morning. I'm Stephanie Beckhorn, the Director of the Office of Employment and Training with the Michigan Department of Labor and Economic Opportunity. And we are thrilled to have you join us today for our second in a series of webinars intended to inform Michigan businesses how the Department of Labor and Economic Opportunity and our partners can support you in your workforce needs. We have a lot of information to cover in the next 45 minutes, so I just want to get a couple housekeeping items out of the way. First, if you have any questions, please type in those questions in the question and answer box. And then we will address as many questions as possible at the end of the webinar. So I really encourage you to use that question and answer box. Now I'd like to introduce you to our four speakers for today's presentation. Susan Corbin, Deb Leisinga, and Elise Walter from the Department of Labor and Economic Opportunity, and Denise Van Hee from Oakland County, Michigan Works. Our four presenters will spend the rest of today's event focusing on workforce solutions that can address your talent needs. We know many, if not all of you, have positions that you need to fill as soon as possible. The services and resources we cover today are intended to support you not only today, but also tomorrow and in the future. During today's webinar, we will provide you with high-level details about those opportunities, and then we'll explain how you can take the next steps. With that, let's kick things off with Susan Corbin, the Acting Director of the Michigan Department of Labor and Economic Opportunity. Good morning, Susan.
Good morning, Stephanie. Thank you. Hello, I'm Susan Corbin. I'm the Acting Director of the Michigan Department of Labor and Economic Opportunity, or LEO, as we like to call it. I want to thank each of you for joining us today as we highlight our employer-focused programs and services. As Michigan's economic outlook continues to improve and we get back to a new normal, we're turning our attention to uplifting Michiganders and supporting businesses who are getting back to work. That's why we just launched the Back to Work online hub. We want to make sure that businesses have tangible resources after a challenging year so that we can build back even stronger. While our long-term programs continue to be a priority, and we'll touch on those shortly, we know the pandemic has created barriers to returning to work for many working families that in turn creates barriers for employers and our overall economic recovery. I wanted to share with you some of the key programs recently rolled out that are aimed at economic recovery and helping employers fill job openings and provide safe, healthy work environments for their employees. Unemployment insurance programs have provided a critical lifeline for 3.3 million Michiganders since March 2020, and a wealth of economic relief to our state. And while these benefits are still critical, we have reached a point in time where more businesses are opening back up, more Michiganders are vaccinated, making it easier and safer to resume work search requirements for those receiving benefits. Michigan's WorkShare program allows employers to bring employees with reduced hours, while employees collect partial unemployment benefits to make up a portion of the lost wages. Employers can also retain their current workforce and are given the flexibility to choose which of their employees are part of a WorkShare plan. To help employers get back to work, we're continuing to offer assistance through our ambassador program to help employers create safe workplaces. The state is also working hard to get residents vaccinated. We will need employers to be our partner in that effort. The pandemic has created a growing childcare crisis that threatens the state's economic recovery. Many childcare centers are still closed or reopening at reduced capacity because of staff shortages and to allow for greater social distancing. Heading into summer, many parents are concerned about childcare availability. The state plans to use federal dollars to expand its pilot Childcare Tri-Share program that provides more affordable childcare through an innovative bipartisan cost-sharing program that divides cost equally between employees, employer, and the state. Throughout this pandemic, we have prioritized businesses' talent needs and providing employers with services to find and develop skilled talent. We are also creating lasting change for every Michigander seeking a better life. With that, I will now turn things over to Deb Lysinga from Leo to share with you information about virtual job fairs.
Thank you, Susan. And as Susan mentioned, I'm Deb Lysinga with Leo Office of Employment and Training. Starting in June 2020, Leo launched a series of virtual job fairs to help meet Michigan's workforce needs. The online platform allows job seekers, employers, and workforce development professionals to connect safely and professionally from their own home. Over the past year, we have partnered with local organizations in your area, such as Michigan Works, Economic Development, colleges, and universities to hold more than 100 events across the state, connecting thousands of job seekers to career opportunities. 78% of those job seekers were rated by employers as a candidate for additional interviews or to keep within their talent pipeline as a potential future employee. 22 events have been scheduled for this summer and fall, with more being added weekly. There's actually 10 virtual job fair events scheduled for June, some of which are statewide and industry specific in education, healthcare, and agriculture. Some are regional and include a wide variety of employers, industries, and positions. Employers' virtual space can be customized and connected to their own company's website. And how many times have you gone to an in-person job fair and the right skilled candidates have not shown up? Job candidates register for the virtual events, allowing the employer to know who is planning to attend. Employers can then reach out to individual job candidates ahead of the event and invite them to a virtual interview. Along with employer marketing of the virtual job fair, we can promote your jobs to UI claimants and Pure Michigan Talent Connect job seekers. The online platform keeps your ratings and your notes of the job candidates you interviewed for 6 months. And if technology makes you nervous, don't worry, it makes me nervous too. But the virtual job fair platform is easy to set up. But if you run into any difficulties, we have live and online trainings, tech support before, during, and after the event, and a 24/7 live chat support. Participating is easy. Just connect with your local Michigan Works agency or connect with us. We will work with you to determine which type of event works best for you. Multi-employer events, an employer of the day event, or maybe you would be interested in participating in a career day event with students. An additional option for finding talent outside of virtual job fairs is through the state system for connecting employers and job seekers, Pure Michigan Talent Connect. I'll now hand things off to Elise Walter to discuss further. Elise?
Thank you, Deb, and good morning, everyone. As Deb mentioned, my name is Elise Walter, and I'm also with Leo's Office of Employment and Training. I focus on communications and outreach, but I also lead Pure Michigan Talent Connect. Pure Michigan Talent Connect, or we sometimes refer to it as just PMTC, looks to serve as Michigan's central hub for linking employers with the state's workforce. It's available 24/7, and it can be found simply by visiting mitalent.org. During the next few minutes, we'll cover a few functions of the system specific to employers, including things like creating your free employer account, posting jobs, capitalizing on job characteristics when you're posting those jobs, and viewing job seeker profiles. As I mentioned, PMTC is free for employers. You just need a couple of key pieces of information to get started, including your federal employer identification number, contact information, your organization description, the number of employees you presently have, and a valid email address. Your account is confirmed courtesy of that email address you provide, so it's really important that you make sure you use one that's connected to your business whenever possible. Upon validation, it will take up to 3 business days for our team to basically confirm it through that validation process. Please note you can create one account per your unique email address, yet have multiple users within your organization have access to the system through that one login. To create an account, you're simply going to visit mitalent.org, and you want to look in the upper right-hand corner of the screen, which is shown through the screenshot provided right now, and you're going to click on Create an Account. After your account is validated, you can start posting jobs that you might have available. Now, if you already have an account, that's great too. You're going to go ahead and just click on Sign in that same upper right corner of mitalent.org to get started. And if you've forgotten your password, or you can't quite remember if you had an account, we can walk you through those steps by simply clicking through Sign in, and we'll get you squared away. Once your account's validated, you'll be able to log in to access your employer dashboard. This dashboard is where you will manage your job postings. There are 3 simple steps for posting a job on Pure Michigan Talent Connect. Step 1, you're going to be asked to provide information about yourself, the employer, and the basic details of the job you're looking to post. You're going to need to provide your name, the employer name, your organization name. So this might be different. For instance, if you're an entity and you have multiple locations. So I'll use Meyer for an example. Say a Meyer of Lansing versus the Meyer of DeWitt versus the Meyer of Mount Pleasant. You may have different locations, and you can identify that courtesy of your organization name. And then there's a couple of required fields you're going to need to complete as well, such as city, zip code, where the job is located, the job title, as well as the total of number of positions you have open. And then you're also going to want to provide a job description in step number 1. Step 2 will ask you to get more into the details of each of your respective specific job postings, such as the minimum education level that's required for it, what is the level of the job, if a foreign labor certification is required, which may not be applicable in all circumstances, and then if you have an ONET code or a keyword that you would like to include with the job posting. So then you might say, what is an ONET code? This is a resource that identifies through a national database a standardized or an occupation-specific descriptor. So this can help job seekers then on the next stage where they're looking for your jobs, home in on very specific opportunities respective to what they want to do or what they're qualified to do. Additionally, during step 2, you'll be asked to identify specific job characteristics, which we'll dive into more in just a moment, as well as any additional requirements you would like to identify for the job specifically. Then you're going to get pushed into step 3, which is simply you're headed into the home stretch and you're going to indicate how might a job seeker apply for this job and how long do you want the job to be posted, which can be up to 30 days. And even beyond that 30 days, you can then repost your opportunity for a longer period of time. So as I just mentioned briefly, during step 2 of your job posting process in PMTC, you're going to be asked to select from a variety of job characteristics that might apply to your respective postings. Job seekers can then conduct their searches based on the type of job characteristics they're most interested in. So it's really important that you select applicable job characteristics so that you're grabbing the job seeker's attention. You'll see a list of our available job characteristics on the screen right now, but I really want to call attention to one specific characteristic that we have noticed has been significantly underutilized, and that is the very last option, remote or virtual work. Job seekers are very interested in remote or virtual work opportunities, both now and in the future. If you have a position that can be done remotely, make sure you select this characteristic so any job seeker conducting searches based on this type of employment is going to see your opportunity. The last major element of Pure Michigan Talent Connect that I'd like to cover with you today is the act of searching for candidates. You can initiate this activity again by logging into your free account and clicking on the new search button located in the lower right-hand corner of your employer dashboard, as we've shown on the screen. When you start a search, you'll be able to select the requirements needed for the job posting you're looking to fill. The criteria you specify will then help you narrow in on your respective candidate pool. You can also use many of the same details you provided in the job posting itself to narrow in on candidates, including candidates with specific location preferences, minimum education, if they're available for just part-time work, and what job level they're looking for. Your search results will provide you with a list of candidates that meet your criteria. You can then review and refine as you see fit, as well as save your search for either future reference or potentially re-review. You can also contact candidates following your search directly through the system, including encouraging them to apply for positions that you may have open already or open in the future. So now you may be ready to get started with revisiting Pure Michigan Talent Connect or creating an account for the very first time. But if you need additional assistance, there's plenty of resources to assist you. If you need help with system-related issues, such as creating your account or conducting a candidate search, if you're having any technical problems, mitalent.org has different resources to assist you, including our user guide for employers, as well as tutorial videos that highlight specific tasks. But if you're looking for specific help with tailoring your job posts, job seekers searches, etc., we really encourage you to contact your local Michigan Works. PMTC support is just one of the many ways they assist Michigan employers, which is a great segue to our next speaker, Denise Van Hee from Oakland County Michigan Works, to talk about the Michigan Works system. Denise?
Good morning, Elise. Thank you so much. Again, as Elise indicated, I am Denise Van Hee with Oakland County Michigan Works. So while I coordinate business services for Oakland County, I am here today and we'll be talking about items that any of our Michigan Works business services teams throughout the state of Michigan can help you and your organizations with immediately. That's what we'll be focusing on today. So for those of you not familiar, what is Michigan Works? We are a statewide unified workforce development system serving both employers and job seekers. Many know us for the work that we do with job seekers, but we also have teams in place to work with employers and their workforce needs. Our teams regularly partner with other employers, educators, economic developers, community organizations to really help create a qualified workforce to meet current and future talent needs that ultimately fuel our shared economic future across the state. In the current climate, many employers are struggling to find people to fill vacancies. While the Michigan Works teams are not miracle workers, we do our best. We do have resources and tools to help you, create some of those on-demand solutions for high-demand skills, connect you to various resources throughout the state, work to find innovative solutions for challenging recruitment projects, and help bring employers together using various community connections to address some shared long-term issues. To help address some of the immediate needs, I really want to highlight resources that you can start accessing now. Elise gave you a great overview of the Pure Michigan Talent Connect. And as she mentioned, our Michigan Works teams can help you post and manage those openings on the Pure Michigan Talent Connect if you are looking for some additional assistance. Our teams are definitely happy to help you. Once those positions are posted, that's when we can start assisting with outreach and recruitment. Your business services representatives can share your openings via social media, distribution lists, partners like colleges, universities, other human service organizations, and many more. Another advantage of working with the Michigan Works business services teams is to help provide an opportunity for you to widen your applicant pool and help connect with some of the populations that you may not have considered. Through our partnerships, we can get you directly connected with Michigan Rehabilitation Services, Michigan Department of Corrections, veterans groups, youth and young adults, to really help provide an opportunity to expand your pool to fill those positions. When talking about the Pure Michigan Talent Connect, Elise also talked about those job descriptions and utilizing some of the key characteristics within Pure Michigan Talent Connect to make your job stand out. But beyond those characteristic options listed on the Pure Michigan Talent Connect, are you really doing enough to make your company and position stand out? Our teams can help you with that, help you kind of fine tune and highlight some of those incentives and benefits, maybe flexible schedules, and really sell you and your company and not just the skills that are required. Deb shared with us the opportunity for the virtual job fairs, and that has been a great resource to our state employers and job seekers to come together over this past year. As she indicated, if you are interested in participating in a virtual job fair, reach out to your local Michigan Works Business Services team. They can provide any upcoming dates and help set up future dates that you might be interested in. We've also had some of our offices across the state host some successful drive-through job fairs, especially while our offices were still closed. But we are starting to see, as COVID restrictions lessen, that some of our offices are now starting to offer in-person job fairs. So with any of the job fairs you might be interested in, again, connect with your Michigan Works Business Services team in your area, and they can help guide you through those options. Some additional resources to help with your talent recruitment. Our teams can also help with screening applications. We also, in many cases, have our own internal qualified candidates that we're already working with that we can refer directly to you. Do you need any wage information or labor market information? This can also help drive and market your job postings and your company to ensure that you're being competitive and offering the wages and benefits that are being offered by your area competitors in similar industries. We can also look at opportunities for some training and funding opportunities. Always looking for employers that, maybe you're struggling to find the person that has, the 10 key skills you're looking for, but you find someone that has 4 or 5 of them that you're willing to train. There might be some training and funding opportunities to offset the costs of those work experiences, internships, on-the-job trainings. And while we're talking about immediate needs today, there are also some great opportunities as a longer-term solution via apprenticeships. There's opportunities for connections to industry-specific consortiums. And then, as always, our Michigan Works Business Services team can help you connect with any additional state and federal program supports that might be available. In summary, know that your Michigan Works Business Services team, they are here to help with many of your organization's workforce needs. On this slide here, it does provide a list of the business services leads for each of our 16 Michigan Works regions across the state. You can also call the 1-800 number or access a list of offices on the website provided, www.michiganworks.org. In addition to the direct help that Michigan Works agencies offer employers across the state, there's another resource where you can self-guide for more information and resources. So now we'll have Elise Walter come back to discuss our final topic. Elise?
Thank you very much, Denise. As Susan Corbin, the acting director of LEO, mentioned earlier, to further support the various needs you have as employers across the state, LEO recently launched a new website that highlights programs and services that are really intended to connect businesses to address your current workforce issues. So this new online resource can be found at michigan.gov/back-to-work. This provides a central location for programs and services that are aimed at helping you fill job openings, provide safe, healthy work environments to your staff, as well as address a variety of other business-related needs. The top of the website, which is on your screen right now, go back one more, please, provides a lot of the immediate opportunities that we've been talking about at this morning's webinar. So you'll find more information about contacting your local Michigan Works agency, using Pure Michigan Talent Connect, whether it's creating an account or getting back into your account to post jobs, start doing some candidate searches, things like that. Participating in virtual job fairs that Deb talked about, as well as other opportunities such as the MIOSHA Ambassador Program that Susan mentioned previously. All of the content, particularly within the immediate workforce solutions section, it also gives you an actionable opportunity. So what do you need to do next? Whether it's clicking to another website for next steps or specific information or a contact person, it's going to point you where you're going to want to head for those next actions. Today's webinar obviously focused on what we were talking about, some immediate solutions addressing your needs today, tomorrow, and the coming days and weeks. But the Back to Work website also connects you to longer term opportunities, including things that you may want to pursue, but may require a little bit more legwork or a little bit more lead time to do. So in the next section of the website, which is about long-term workforce solutions, you'll find information on vocational rehabilitation, Global Talent Solutions, courtesy of Leo's Office of Global Michigan, the Michigan Economic Development Corporation and the opportunities and initiatives that they support, connecting to find labor market information that may help you, participating or creating a registered apprenticeship program, taking advantage of Michigan's Going Pro Talent Fund, and the Talent Acquisition Portal, which is a resource for connecting to a talent pool of individuals with disabilities. These opportunities, as I mentioned, they require a little bit more planning and coordination, but it's a really good place, the website is, for you to start where you can learn more about those. You can explore what might be of best service to you and what you might be interested in addressing next. There's even more information. Please go back one more. There's even more information further down the page that focuses on topics that can address your talent development, retention, and growth needs. Many of these services can be tailored to your specific demands, which then takes us to the next section, which is that we really want you to bookmark michigan.gov/back-to-work. The website's living, breathing. The idea is that we're going to constantly keep it updated, informed, and reflective of what you as an employer need most. So we would like you to check it out frequently, right? Whether it's to reconnect back to some of those short-term opportunities or those mid to long-range solutions that can help your company right now or well into the future. There's also an opportunity for you to complete our intake form if you go to the website, which we've provided on the screen right here. So this is our employer resources request intake form that you can find. There's a button right at the top of the Back to Work website as well as at the bottom. This form helps us to serve you quickly and effectively. We collect a variety of information in the form up front because the idea is we want to get as much information from you from the get-go so we can hit the ground running to address your needs. Completing that form as fully as possible ensures that we're going to get going in the right direction with you to identify the services that can help you best. So some of the things that we ask of you on the form include: what's your name? What organization are you with? What type of business do you have? What's your contact information? Where are you located? All critical components so that we can help identify which regional or local staff can serve you best. On the form, you can also indicate and select the services or resources you're most interested in. So we have them categorized by major areas, and then we also have a section within each category that you can, if it's not identified and you don't select it, you can type it in. So if you're not quite certain, there's always a box available for you to provide direct information about what you might be looking for. So we hope the Back to Work website really becomes, again, that go-to resource for you for exploring all the things the Michigan Department of Labor and Economic Opportunity, as well as our critical partners, such as the Michigan Work System, can do for you. So that completes the overarching content for today's webinar, and we know we have quite a few questions to get to, courtesy of the question and answer box. So I'd like to turn things over to my colleague, Heather McBrien, to help with that. Heather?
Thank you, Elise. I'm going to address the first question to Director Corbin. And this is coming from a staffing manager that is having a huge hurdle of having candidates show up for interviews. They are afraid that they're using the confirmation as a source for unemployment, confirmation of going in and visiting as a source for unemployment, and we are reporting that these individuals to the unemployment office as a refusal to work. Is that the only way to report these individuals?
I'm sorry to hear that you're having that struggle. I think that reporting it to the Michigan Works Agency is probably the appropriate action. There's no reporting requirement as it relates to work search on the employer side. However, the Unemployment Insurance Agency does audit the claimant's work search activities. There are, as we mentioned earlier, work search has been reinstated. And so the agency does audit the claimant's responses. A claimant is required on a weekly basis to demonstrate what they have done in terms of a work search. And then I just wanted to share at a high level, some information about unemployment, because this has been a big discussion across the country in terms of the role that it plays in terms of people returning to work. I think that we all know that while someone is receiving unemployment, they're in a much better position to undergo a job search. If someone is, struggling to try to keep their lights on and they don't have, unemployment to assist with that, that becomes their focus and not a job search. And so I wanted to share that information. And I also wanted to share that on average, a person collecting state unemployment collects unemployment for 14 weeks. In Michigan, we are up to 79 weeks of benefits. A person could be eligible for up to 79 weeks of unemployment. But on average in Michigan, we are seeing people remain on unemployment for 14 weeks. That's the state program. In terms of the federal program, PUA, which provides unemployment to those people who typically did not qualify for unemployment previously, those who are small employers, independent contractors, people in the gig economy, an Uber driver, those people on average are collecting unemployment for 24 weeks. We are seeing the numbers go up of people who are leaving unemployment. Last week, 25,000 people left the unemployment rolls. And so that's, 25,000 people in Michigan who accepted jobs and went back to work full time.
Thank you, Susan. The next several questions are related to virtual job fairs. So Deb and then maybe even Denise from a MWA perspective may be able to jump in here. First and foremost, several people are asking, where can we find information about the virtual job fairs? Are those posted online?
So great question. And I would definitely encourage anyone interested in virtual job fairs to connect with their local Michigan Works agency. But we are also working with our communications department to list those online. I believe they are also on Pure Michigan Talent Connect. So I'll turn it over to Denise if she would like to address that from the Michigan Works side as well.
Thanks, Deb. I agree with everything that Deb said. They are, for the most part, we are posting those virtual job fairs on the Pure Michigan Talent Connect. But if you're really looking for a list and to find out what is available in your local area, that is where your business services team representative is going to be your best friend and be able to help you navigate what's currently available and out there.
Denise, going along those lines, how would we encourage employers as they're participating to get more candidates to stop by their booths?
Within some of the job fairs, virtual job fairs that we have hosted, while we as the Michigan Works system promotes and markets the virtual job fairs, we strongly encourage the employers to share out through their own channels, through their own social media outlets and any marketing that they do, that they are going to be at an event and going to be recruiting for various positions. We have found with some of the employers that push out their information through their own channels that they see a larger response of individuals coming and seeking out their booths at the events.
One more quick on that about virtual job fairs. Is there a fee to participate?
All of the virtual job fairs are free. Even if you're going to be at a point where our offices are hosting them in person, there is no cost to the employers.
Excellent, thank you, Denise. Elise, a couple questions related to PMTC. One is specific to filtering language, and individuals had some trouble with what might be considered sexual misconduct language based on their job title. Is there a way to filter so that their resumes are not blocked from being uploaded?
There's not a workaround that a job seeker can use, but we can support you on the system side. So if you send an email, it was provided on the slide, but I'll repeat it here. It's Leo, L-E-O -talent connect, all one word, at michigan.gov. What we do is we kind of validate the context of the resume, and we can sort of temporarily remove that filter to say, yes, please allow this resume to upload to the system. So it does have to be done kind of in tandem with us from the system side, but we're more than happy to do so.
Another question related to virtual and remote jobs. Would you suggest that employers select this if there is a hybrid position that is not totally remote?
The intention behind offering the job characteristic opportunity to select virtual or remote work was intended for fully remote or virtual positions. So you may still select it, but you might want to identify in some of those additional job details that it is maybe considered a split opportunity, right? Not fully virtual or remote, or virtual remote opportunities present, maybe not 5 days a week or 40 hours a week or whatever the structure may be from a schedule perspective. But the original intent behind that checkbox was meant for 100% virtual remote work, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you can't provide additional detail that makes it clear to the job seeker and potential candidate that it may not be that case.
Excellent, thank you, Elise. Denise, back to you. A couple questions related to the Michigan Works offices. What's the best way to connect with the local Michigan Works office and create a partnership?
As I had shared, and I believe this slide presentation is going to be sent out to everyone today, reach out to your local offices. So you can do that via the 800 number, 800-285-9675. Or you can access the list of various offices throughout the state of Michigan on the Michigan Works Association website, www.michiganworks.org.
Awesome. If someone already has a business service rep from the Michigan Works, can that person guide them through all of the programs that were referenced here today? Is that their go-to person for anything Michigan Works related, such as MITC and funding programs for the employer specific needs?
Absolutely. We like to consider ourselves sometimes an extension of your HR team and really help you navigate all of those different resources, state and federal programs. So your Michigan Works Business Services representative can become your best friend. Absolutely.
Thank you. Question back to Elise. This is about the website, the Back to Work website that you referenced. Where does the employer resource form go, and what will happen when people submit that form?
Great question. So it's all automated. So when an individual completes the form, it comes into the back end of our employment and training, basically our employer engagement team. And so at least twice a week, they're reviewing any of the submissions, sometimes more frequently. Someone is managing the location where those completed forms go daily, but the team in general collects together at least twice a week to discuss specific requests and then identify next steps, whether it's reaching out to the submitter for additional details, right? So if you don't provide all that upfront information, you may get an initial contact that says, hey, we just need to know where you're located, or what are some of the specific needs that you have or services you're most interested in. And then the next step in the triage process continues, where typically very specific staff will be identified to work with you moving forward. So the form itself is automated, and then it comes into a living, breathing team, if you will, to do an initial intake and best understand what those next steps will be.
Thank you. The next question is for Director Corbin. Are you able to provide any assistance or information regarding MIOSHA workplace safety grants?
Yes, MIOSHA has a program of providing consultation, education, and training grants. They award these grants on an annual basis. And so if you visit the MIOSHA website, michigan.gov/MIOSHA, you can find information about when the next application period for those grants would be available. And then I should also mention that during the pandemic, MIOSHA also offered workplace safety grants for employers to make health and safety improvements to their workplace to protect employees. We also have the Ambassador Program, which I mentioned in our presentation, and the Ambassador Program is still operating. And if you reach out to MIOSHA, you can have an ambassador visit your work site, and they can walk through your workplace with you and answer any questions that you have about providing a safe workplace for your employees as it relates to COVID. We've had over 4,000 employees take advantage of this program, and when a company participates, they get a sticker for their door saying that they've had an ambassador visit, that they're providing a safe workplace. And I think it's just something that provides assurances to employees that an employer is doing everything to protect them. We know from surveys in Michigan and across the country that one thing that is preventing people from coming back to work is their concerns about safety. So, demonstrating that you've done everything that you can to protect employees, I believe is something that will help, provide some confidence for job seekers.
Thank you, Susan. Back to Elise as it relates to PMTC and receiving errors. Several employers are talking about receiving error messages with content related to their job descriptions. Who can provide assistance? Is that on your side or is that on the MWA side?
It can be both. So if you're already working with a Michigan Works agency, they have what are considered PMTC admins within their teams as well, who may be able to post the job for you or assist in your job posting process. If you're not actively engaged or not necessarily certain which Michigan Works agency you might need to work with, you can also use that shared mailbox that I provided earlier, which again is Leo-Talent Connect. Talent Connect is one word at michigan.gov. And that is, again, another intake system where you can send us your concerns or any errors or any issues you're working through from an IT perspective or a system perspective. And we will be back in touch with you directly to work through your situation.
This will be our last question, and it's going to be to Denise, specific to the MWAs. Can an employer host an open interview event on site at a local Michigan Works location? Are the MWA offices open for this type of experience on site?
So I think at this point, the best way to answer that question is it's going to vary across the state. So across the state, our Michigan Works offices are starting to transfer from full virtual services to in-person services. So offices are starting to open. Some of the offices are still restricted by capacity limits. So depending on what capacity limits have and depending on where those Michigan Works offices are in their current stage of reopening to physical services, it's going to vary. So your best bet at this point, especially at this time of transition, is to reach out to that local Michigan Works office, your business service rep in your area, and find out what is currently available at this time.
Thank you, Denise. And I'll turn it back over to Stephanie Beckhorn.
Thank you, Heather. Appreciate you reading through those questions. And I want to thank Susan, Deb, Elise, and Denise for all of the information they shared today. And I want to thank everyone for joining our Immediate Workforce Solutions for Michigan Employers webinar. I hope the information that we have shared today has got you thinking about some steps that you can take even this afternoon, right, to address your talent needs. As a reminder, this is the second in a series of webinars we plan to host to connect Michigan businesses with our opportunities, services, and resources. You will receive an email following today's webinar with information shared during the event, as well as a request for feedback via the survey. And we certainly hope that you provide us your input as we determine future webinar topics. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get through all of the questions and answers, but for those questions that include a contact information or the individual's name, we will try to follow up with you after the event and answer your specific question. So thank you very much, and we hope you have a wonderful day.